Hello, boys and girls of YouTube. Well, I'm making a little progress on my pinball machine, not the playfield. I kind of, I guess I'll talk a little bit about that. I had a plan, I was working it, and I kind of decided to change it a little bit. So before I go any further with that, I'm, I decided to kind of, thinking about it a little bit more, thinking about the shots a little bit more, think about the game itself and the code, because I've been working on the code for a little bit, and as I'm doing the code, I started thinking about other shots and how the current design wouldn't really accommodate some of the things I wanted to do. So I kind of shifted gears on that. So I decided to build the power supply. Now, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this online. It's kind of important. Um, I've seen a lot of things written up. There's a company called Fast that sells, hardware, pinball controllers, um, and they do talk about it quite extensively. So if you're not using their stuff, I would still maybe look them up and read about powering, your pinball machine. So um, since I have Fast products, I kind of followed their recommendation on what to do for their setup. Um, Now, what you're looking at is a power enclosure. Um, they don't specifically recommend putting in a metal box or not putting in a metal box, but I felt it was a little more safer. Even the manufacturers put it in the back box, and yeah, there's usually some kind of metal backing that they mount everything to. But usually everything else is kind of exposed and open. For me, I want in an enclosed section, even though some people consider the back box being enclosed, and you'd have to actually use the key to open it up. Um, but still, even if you open it up, and if you're somebody that doesn't know that you shouldn't touch a lot of the electronic components that are in there, because as you can see, there's a lot of exposed wires, well, ends anyway. Um, where like this piece is the actual lines coming in from the house. Those are really the dangerous ones, and those go into two AC to DC converters. One's 48 volts, one is 12 volts. I've seen some systems have a 5 volt also. That's usually for RGB lights. Usually, but Fast doesn't need to have that, because they have all the voltage reducing boards already in there. So you just buy those and you just connect the wires to the lights as they recommend. But yeah, for me, I definitely felt safer to have everything in a box and that was enclosed and closed up. And then, yeah, I'll put it in the back box, and the back box will be locked. So, again, you need a key to open it. Then you have this that you have to open. So, at that point, you're purposely going into this box if you're trying to do anything in here. But unless something malfunctions from the power supply, you really shouldn't need to go into this box once it's set up and ready to go. Yeah, sometimes you might need to go in the back box for whatever reason, change a light or something else, or add a topper or whatever. But if you're in there and the machine's on, because sometimes you need the machine on to actually test a switch or something else. It's good to have this enclosed, and I feel it's just safer that way. So, like I said, this one, like I said, it's 48 volts, 12 volts. Then it has a fast power management system that'll actually connect to the little mini PC I have. And then it'll connect to all the other hardware to control the switches and solenoids and relays and everything else to make it function. But this is the piece that's you really need to put in a box. because everything else outside of this is DC current, which is still bad. I wouldn't want to get zapped by it, but AC current is definitely more dangerous. And let me turn this on, and I'm going to tell you something too, because you can actually see the green light in that one. Now, I had this actually turned off for a few minutes already, but there's probably a capacitor in that power supply, and these are big capacitors too. And what a capacitor does, it actually holds electricity, because a lot of times you want things to power down gracefully, so that'll help do that. So again, I wouldn't want to stick my hand in there even when this thing was off, because it's on now. You can kind of see the 12 volt power supply, the green light. It's on. That one doesn't seem to have a capacitor in it. If it does, it definitely doesn't hold the charge in there that long at all. But this definitely will. But again, that's very hard to touch the back end of those. But again, the board is kind of open, and there are, fuses, and you can, kind of stick your hand in there the wrong way or something in there the wrong way and get zapped. And right now, I definitely would not want to stick my hand in there. God forbid, you touch the wrong thing, you'll definitely get zapped. So I'm going to turn it off, and you'll see the green light on the 48 volts still on, because like I said, that's that capacitor. Yes, it is off, and you can see everything kind of going down. There is a capacitor in the 12 volt, because it did kind of take a little bit, but it definitely does not hold the charge as long as the 48 volt does. Now, so really, when you're doing a homebrew, definitely look up how to manage your power supply safely, I'm going to say. And this was one way to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but it's definitely one way to do it. There actually is a fuse over here as well. And then there actually is a ground that goes from the outside to the inside, the outside. I don't know if you can see those green wires. Get my shadow out of there. Maybe you can see the green wires. But the green wires are usually household ground. And in a pinball machine, you definitely want to make sure that all the metal components are actually tied to earth ground. And that's what that little bolt, I don't know if you can see it, but that's what that bolt will do. It'll tie like the legs, like the coin door, like the side rails. If there's any hinges for the back box, they all should be, tied in to, grounding wire to that grounding. In this case, it's a, bolt and a nut, but it'll go back to household ground, which is the green wire going back to the circuit. So this is just, one example of what you can do. I am making progress, because this is a big piece of doing a pinball machine, getting everything set up power-wise. And again, like I said, well, I didn't say yet, but I thought about it. But the only thing I haven't done with this yet is it needs venting. So I've got to put some vent holes probably at the bottom. And I'll probably have like a dust protector over it. This way it'll catch everything, probably magnets this way, you can take it off and dust it. Because it'll have a fan on the other side. And because of the air circulating through it, it'll definitely get some dust in there. And I want to minimize that as much as possible. So that is still yet to be done. But there's, on the right-hand side, let me turn the camera a little bit. Sorry for the jiggling. On the right-hand side, you can see that there's plenty of space to put a fan. I'll probably put one right there. I think a 50 millimeter by about 20 millimeters thick, maybe 15, maybe even 10. See how much air it pushes out. And then on the bottom, I'll just have some holes and like a filter, so it'll filter out any dust. So that's pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, concerns, let me know. Put it in the chat and I'll get back to you. So, making progress, just not on the playfield yet. So hopefully that'll be coming up soon. Take care.